Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip,
And I'm CJ.
and it is Friday in the Rib, the Friday before Christmas. And I guess we've got a lot to talk about as always, even though the Christmas holidays will keep you occupied. We are in the process of getting the complete video of the retirement board meeting that was full of action. And but we're having obviously, I think I've been told, I don't know about you, Cia, but I've been told that that lasted between 40 and 50 minutes,
Correct.
just that discussion. So we're
Right.
having problems getting that formatted for us to get up, to put it on the show, and when we do, we'll do it in pieces. So this is going to be like a mini series. We're going to have a mini series on this thing. And with that being said, I'll segue right into what I heard. I got a call early this morning that they're on the radio again, fostering a rumor which will help them try to get the money that they're trying to get for a handout from the retirement board by saying 9C cuts, 9C cuts. But I was told, and I'm saying I was told this, I'm not saying that, but I was told by some reliable sources that Alan Sylvia was on there saying there is rumor, a rumor of 9C cuts. We checked into it and we have no such. We've heard of from some fairly reliable sources in Boston that we have that they don't think 9C cuts are going to occur. Personally, I feel that there's no way they're going to be hacking all kinds of city and town budgets next year when we're having a presidential election and their party, the party that controls this state, is in deep doo-doo in the presidential election. I mean, their poll numbers are through the floor. So, you know, they can. I think this is a con. It's a red herring to try to make people say, "Oh, well, yeah, we got to give them a break." Well, yeah, they've misappropriated money up the kazoo. So we'll get into that. But with that, CJ, I'll turn that over to you about the 9C cuts and
Well,
stuff.
the interesting thing is, why would they be even talk about 9C cuts when they're screaming that they have, again, flush with cash? Okay. And I'm not talking the city, I'm talking the state. They're trying to figure out, they're going to spend almost $2 billion on housing migrants or illegal aliens. $2 billion. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And you can't be playing games with this money. Okay, that money should be going to the cities and towns first. Okay, and our state legislature needs to look at this law that requires us to house these people, and they need to change it, and they need to make it so that the only people that we house are American citizens or legal immigrants. Illegals are not our problem. Close the borders. That's what we should be saying. That's what everyone should be saying. I like what they're doing in Texas. They're chartering planes and shipping them everywhere. They just shipped a whole bunch to Chicago. And Chicago's saying they're dumping them on our fault. Well, you're the sanctuary state. You're the sanctuary city. You want this. Okay. How come Cambridge isn't getting any? They're a sanctuary city. They wanted that. The ones that were in the Orbitz Motel in Somerset have been moved to Raynham. But Somerset's going to get stuck with the bill. Because if those students want to stay in the Somerset school system, Somerset's going to have to pay to transport them from wherever they go, which is somewhere in Raynham, back to Somerset for school. And they're only getting paid $104 a day. And Somerset isn't even sure if that money's going to pay for what's necessary for these students. They're going to get hooked up with all of these bills, and there's nothing that they can do about it. And that's not fair. That's not fair to me. That's not fair to you. That's not fair to the taxpayers of Fall River. It's not fair to the taxpayers of Somerset. We need to stand up and have our own Tea Party and start taking these immigrants and dumping them into the Boston Harbor. Maybe that will get a message across to people.
Well, that may not be an option that we would be able to exercise because we'd all be in jail.
Hey, why? Paul says jump in the Taunton River.
But you're right, CJ. Listen, the state was crowing about all the surplus money we got. The city, remember, Paulie pockets, we're flush. We're flush. And now they're begging for nickels and dimes and pennies. Oh, we're strapped. We got Diamond. You knew about Diamond. We got Durfee. You're the guy that advocated for Durfee. Oh, we got this. We got that. Oh, 9C cuts. May come down. Every excuse. They're not talking about how we got $1.6 million more added to our Durfee payment. Why did we have that? School Committeeman Aguirre showed what they said with the debt was going to be, what we were going to pay. But they've got $1.6 million more in that debt. But they still need that $500,000 that should be going into the retirees' portfolio. How about the money from the healthcare? Oh, we don't use the healthcare money. Well, how about the previous 3 fiscal years? How about at the end of this fiscal year where you're going to have about $4 million to play with? But you need a $500,000. And I think Jimmy Machado asked a very pertinent question. What's the financial condition? And the reality is, do I trust the city of Fall River and its financial team? Because they took a shot at me. Oh, you just don't like this administration. You don't like mayors and stuff. Oh, you're right. I don't like them. Because they piss away our money. I've been paying taxes in his city for 50 years. They never appropriate that money for the benefit of the people. They'll lay off firefighters, they'll lay off cops. They're not going to lay off their political tech friends. And they give out tips to the rich people and increase our tax rates. And now they want to take something, they're going to give me a choice between putting that $500,000, which is chump change, in their budget, with all the fat and all the hidden magic money they got in that budget. They want me to vote to give them that $500,000 rather than putting it into the investment portfolio of the retirement system. Actually, yesterday, CJ, now you know, I went down to be sworn in for my 4th term on the retirement board. And when I raised my right hand, raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear, blah, 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 to represent the Fall River retirement system? And I said I do. And that's what I'm doing. Because I'm not giving a city a $500,000 gift for Christmas. They made their bed, let them lie in it. My sworn oath and duty is to the retirement system. And I asked that question, and you'll see it when we get this video up, of the chairman, who's a banker. Do you guys give lower interest rates to people who are always late with their payments? And his answer was no. Do credit card companies cut your interest rate when you pay late? If you're 1 day late, they jack it up to 30%. But we're supposed to do that for the city of Fall River, who has never handled their money with any degree of fiduciary responsibility. And when we come to fiduciary, you will see on the thing when one of the city appointees went, "I'm a fiduciary!" Well, at the next meeting, I'm going to Ryan, because he got upset because I introduced some cases about fiduciary obligations. So I'm going to have to make it clear, because then they made a motion to end debate, because we'd still be there if they didn't. because I'll fight this thing till hell freezes over, as will Jimmy, the two elected officials. I'm going to remind him that we are all fiduciaries. We are all fiduciaries. And I'm going to actually, and I took the option to look this up. And what is the definition of fiduciary duty? And in Black's Law Dictionary defines fiduciary duty as, quote, duty to act for someone else's benefit while subordinating one's personal interests to that of the other person. It's the highest standard of duty implied by law. So just remember what I just said. Someone else's benefit. And that someone else are the people who are in the retirement system. But the city's appointees are putting the personal interest of the city above the people who they have a fiduciary obligation to represent. And I'm going to remind that individual that didn't want to hear it, because I said I got court cases, I've got case law, that case law was created by fiduciaries who did not live up to that responsibility. So, this is going to be a giant crap show. They're going to try everything. They always say, oh, we're broke. Oh, Durfee, Diamond. They're not going to talk about the 48 jobs in the school department, the 68 jobs on the city side that Coogan created, the misuse of opera money, the TIFs they gave out, all the padding they did in the budget, $1.6 million for that, forgetting about all the money they're going to make from the healthcare system. No, none of that counts. I'm just going to tell you we're broke. Take my word for it. When a city tells you they're broke without a full forensic audit, I don't believe it. And if they will agree to do a full forensic audit, and a forensic audit that tells me they have not misappropriated or overestimated their debt, I will vote for it. And I've said that on the air. All right, CJ, back to you.
Interesting position. And you swore. The censors are going to get you. You keep swearing. Fiduciary. Forensic audit. The swears are coming out. Unbelievable. This is the thing that gets people. I mean, this is the holidays, okay? We're supposed to be joyful. We're supposed to be joyous. We're supposed to be having good times. Okay, we're supposed to be looking at what's going on in our own life, not financially, not where's the checkbook? It's supposed to be times with family and friends and food and fun. But when you've got to look at the fact that you're afraid to get your tax bill, that you're afraid to get your water bill, do I buy my child this Christmas gift or do I wait for the water bill? Do I buy my grandchild this Christmas gift or do I buy my medication? Do I buy a Christmas gift for my husband or my wife? Or do we go without food? That's what this year's holiday is about. Because the city has put us in a position where we can't win. And actually, the Democrats have done it. They keep saying the economy is doing so well. But when you ask the public, they say they don't feel it. They don't feel it. I went to the market yesterday. I didn't buy that much. Cost me $98. And I didn't buy any meat at all. $98. I didn't buy any soda. $98. Unbelievable. And this is what happens. When a loaf of bread is selling for $1.99 a loaf, and I'm not talking one of these specialty loaves, I'm talking a loaf of white bread, gold medal white bread, $1.99. The Stop and Shop brand, no less, $1.99. And then they turn around and say, but we're going to take 30 cents off to make it look like you're getting a deal. This is what our public is dealing with. That's what our people are dealing with. The president doesn't get it. Alan Sylvia doesn't get it. Carol Fiola doesn't get it. Maura Healey doesn't get it. These people just don't get it. And the one who doesn't get it at all, who's totally oblivious, walks around like this, is Paul. If his budget had been balanced this year, he may not be looking at a problem at the end of the year. And his budget better be balanced next year, because if it's not, there's going to be hell to pay. You can't keep saying, well, we've got some investments down the road. It might pay off for us. Okay? That's like taking a lottery ticket and scratching a lottery ticket. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. We don't live on lottery tickets. Okay, Paul, you got a big lottery ticket, $88 million, and you pissed it away. And people still don't see what you did. $13 million for water projects. And I found out that you just got another $800 some odd $1,000 for sidewalks and streets from the millionaire tax fund. You know, you walk around with a horseshoe up your ass. I'm telling you. Because you keep getting all this money, but you keep screaming poverty. There's not enough money for you. Why don't you get a printer and start printing out your own bills? Because you need it more, obviously, than somebody else does. Because you've pissed away so much money, you don't know where you're going to get it for next year. So that's your Christmas gift to the people of Fall River. Okay? My friends are all taken care of, but the hell with you. Merry Christmas.
Bah humbug. But look, he doesn't care and his friends don't care. They're the people who are insulated from this because they all got a lot of money. They all got money. It's like Bloomberg. You know what Bloomberg would tell you? That you didn't even buy meat? Well, eat bugs. Eat beans. They don't care. He doesn't have to eat bugs. He doesn't have to eat beans. He's a billionaire.
I couldn't even buy beans. They were so expensive. Okay.
There you go. But, you know, to a point you made earlier, they're always talking about how much money we got in the state. Why don't they, you know, why are you even trying to spread a rumor except to try to make us feel bad? I don't feel bad for them. You know, they're the people who he created all these jobs. They're the people that made this retirement system too expensive at the end of the period. Because the reality is that, remember the last time we had a ton of surplus and they wanted to reduce our taxes and the State House went, forget about it. They wouldn't use that money to help us, the regular people. The same thing with the TIFs. They give TIFs to all the rich people and raise our taxes. They never use anything for us. The fact is that the state had a whole boatload of money a few years ago. You remember? Oh, we're thinking of reducing some tax. Oh, no, you're not. Where's our state delegation? There'll be no 9C cuts if they don't approve the 9C cuts. If they don't propose the 9C cuts, where's our delegation? From what I was told, that Alan Sylvia was on there today saying there's a rumor, but he doesn't support them. Well, nobody should support them. We got billions of dollars in surplus, and you're gonna make that's not gonna happen. You've got to have so much moss growing in your skull on the one brain cell that you have to think they're going to make massive cuts in an election year that they are so far behind in the polling that there may be a giant turnaround. They are petrified because all they want is political power. You know they're not. This state's not going to do that. There'll be a revolution. Even the Democrats, 70% of the people in this country do not agree with what they're doing with the economy. Over 60% of the people are living paycheck to paycheck. Like you said, they lie, they manipulate figures. You know the old saying, figures don't lie, but liars can figure. Well, politicians are masters at lying. Joe Biden says, oh, the inflation's going down. Yeah, you're right. It's down from the highest it was in 40 years, but it's still not low. The average family is losing between $7,000 and $9,000 a year. The buying power, their paychecks, the demand for money is far outweighing any increases in wages. These are all proven facts, but they hate facts. They like to talk about, oh, 9C cuts, here they come, the sky is falling. They got like a bunch of Chicken Littles over there. Oh, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Oh yeah, but remember, the sky's falling for everybody except our rich friends. Stock market's going through the ceiling. And isn't it ironic now that the same Democrats who said a while back when the stock market was going and a Republican was going to win the nomination, they said, don't pay attention to the stock market. That only counts for rich people. Now all of a sudden they said, look, we're doing really well. Look at how the stock market's doing. They're so hypocritical, it's incredible. And they pretend to be, they're so concerned with our well-being, but the money always goes to the rich people. And like I said, we got billions of dollars. Now that's the new rumor. They planted that seed. 9C cuts, 9C cuts, 9C cuts. Oh, the world's going to fall in. Well, you know something? As Jimmy said at that meeting, and you'll see it hopefully next week when we get this stuff prepared, when he said, well, what's the financial condition of the city? Crickets. No answer. Nothing. Because they couldn't make the initial case when we won that vote, that was a paltry sum and that should go into our portfolio. Now they said they came back with a new one, 9C cuts. There may be 9C cuts. Well, when there's 9C cuts, you'll have to deal with it. The retirement board will have to deal with it. Everybody will have to deal with it. But it hasn't happened. What has happened, as CJ said, is the state's already sent them down a boatload of money and stuck another horseshoe up his butt. He got $750,000 for the fire department. He got money for the police department, and they're going to be sending more money down. And they're still broke. And if that's true, they've been, surprise, surprise, they've been lying to you again. With that, back to you, CJ.
Well, I'll tell you. I should take out my money now, I'll give it all to you. Take it all. Take it all, Paul. You're so broke. Take all my money.
No, wait a minute, CJ. You got to not only give him your wallet, you got to give me your bank book, your 401k, and everything else. They want everything.
I know. And the deed to my house. And the deed to my house. What a Christmas gift from Paul, I'm telling you now. Screaming of poverty. If the city's so broke, Paul, all your friends that you hired, terminate them. Terminate them. Don't say you're going to lay off police and fire. Terminate your friends. Oh, wait, you can't do that. They kiss your ass too much, and that's the only way you can be built up. Terminate your friends. Show the people that you really care, and you're gonna hurt too. You got to feel the pain like everybody else. But you don't feel the pain. You give the jobs away. When somebody's doing something illegal in the school department and they get caught, you turn around and say, don't do it anymore. Let's wash our hands of it. I'll make you a supervisor now and split your department in half. That's what you do, Paul. You did it with Perry. You covered up all the illegal activity. You're still trying to cover it up. And you even paid him. Just like you do with Matt Malone, you paid him. We can't afford this. We're too broke. Remember, Paul? We can't afford to pay these people off. But for some reason, you can always seem to find the money. I'm not sure where you find it, though. That's my big question. And I swear, if we do a forensic audit on this city, they're going to find money in places that you will not believe and where it went and who got it. Because that's what happens in Fall River. Money gets hidden, accounts get lost. And Chip knows that because they found money when he had a forensic audit done on this city. Yes, there has been one done on this city before. We need one now more than ever. And maybe what we should do is put it before the voters in the election cycle as a question. The city shall, not should, not may, the city shall have a forensic audit every 2 years. That way, the intact administration, the people who caused the problem, are there to take responsibility for it. That would be how it works, and that's how the people would benefit.
Well, you're right, CJ, but we did do a forensic audit just on the healthcare system, and it was mind-boggling what we found. And we have the proof. It was taken by a court stenographer, every single word, so it's not opinion. We can prove this. But I remember at one point in time when we were going over transfers of funds done by our forensic auditor, and they said our attorney had the city auditor and the city treasurer on the stand testifying, and he said, he went over a few of these transfers. He said, well, you got this, whatever, how many millions of dollars transfer from account A to account E? And they said, yes. And they said, well, what's account A? The answer was, we don't know. Well, what's account E? We don't know. Well, how can you transfer the money? Well, we got a directive from the city administrator, the personnel director, to transfer that money. So you're the auditor and you're the treasurer, and you don't know what these accounts are, but you transferred. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Then he said, so let me give you so if I now ask you, if account E was my personal account, you would have transferred money into my account, correct? The answer to that was, yeah, I guess so. They have no idea where the money's going half the time. And I got that. It's 8 volumes of testimony from a court stenographer. They admitted to backdating checks from one fiscal year back, which you can't do. Because once the books are closed, you need a special appropriation to pay bills from a previous fiscal year. They should have all went to jail. That's why they don't want a forensic audit. That is true. And that's what they don't like, facts. The fact is that they have no idea half the time where money is. I have a letter that I wrote in 2016 about money that was brought in to pay health care premiums, which by statute have to be put directly in to a segregated employee account, not into any account that the city has. Chapter 32B. But it went into city accounts. I asked in writing, who took the money? Where did the money migrate until it finally got discovered and it's going to be put back? Where did it go? It's 2023. I have never gotten a response. I have never gotten a response. So when people say, you don't like administration, yeah, you're right. Because I've been doing this for 40 years. I have never seen a mayor ever that ran his city where they had any semblance of fiduciary responsibility and fiscal restraint. When I first took over, the Viveris administration at least had a bunch of surplus money. But those were the days when we had people who voted in Fall River. We had 65–70% of the people turning out. And there were consequences for wasting the people's money. Now we have 14,000 people voting and 40,000 people sitting at home. So the politicians and then minions do whatever they want. So that's the problem. But when you say forensic audit, you're right. That should actually be in the charter, that this city has a periodic forensic audit by an outside agency like we did. We hired Ernst & Young, one of the premier accounting firms in the world. Cost us big bucks too. But that's what you need. The guy who did ours, his name was Jerry McGovern. He had just got through doing a $1 trillion audit of the state of Tennessee. And when he walked into Fall River and saw the mess, he said, in all my years as an auditor, I have never seen such a mess in all my life. They have absolutely no system to track money. They had slips of paper in file cabinets, and he was told to go over there and sit on the floor and sift through the papers. And he said, I'm not doing that. You got to hire somebody that'll do that cheaper. We make too much money for doing what we do. We don't sit on the floor and sift papers. He said, but in all my experience as an auditor, I have never seen such a mess, an accounting mess. And it still hasn't been fixed because the same thing happened again. And when we got the arbitrator's award, the arbitrator opened his award by saying, and I've got that too, there is no doubt that the city of Fall River's books were in a total state of disarray. So I think that kind of says it all. So with that, CJ, back to you.
Well, what do you know? The city's books were in disarrays. I'm sure they're in disarrays now. The only thing is they're in disarray on a computer. We are going to do something that we've never done in the 12 years we've been on the air. We are going to have a show on Christmas Day. Now, I'm not sure what's going to be the topic. I'm not sure if we're going to beat up the city some more or if we're just going to have a festival of fun. But whatever it is, we always have a festival of fun. So if you want to join us on Monday, Christmas Day, we will be on the air at 10 o'clock as usual. And we look forward to spending a little bit of time with you on Christmas. And remember, if you don't come out on Monday, that's okay. You can watch us in the playback later on. And remember, have a very, very, very Merry Christmas and a happy holidays. And enjoy your family.
And I say exactly the same. I echo those sentiments. You have a happy, healthy holiday and a new year, and we will be here on Christmas Day, maybe even dressed for the occasion. Who knows?
Who knows? We'll see. I want to thank you all for watching, and remember, stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. We will see you on Monday. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.